Of the many things that have been said about the anime Frieren Beyond Journey's End, we can safely say that most of them are true. It is a wonderful show, beautiful, endearing, thoughtful, exciting. But of those many things, there seems to be a lack of consensus around what the show is about. It is clear it is a slice of life. It's a show thematically that conjures ideas of time and faith and love and value, that which we give to others and that which we feel towards others. However, Frieren's journey in the most essential ways can be described best as a coming of age. Now, Frieren's coming of age isn't a coming of age in the way that most shows would depict it. But as she seeks understanding, finds companionship, and takes responsibility for others, that may be the best way to describe her journey. Coming-of-age narratives tend to take place during adolescence, and tend to be about how a boy or girl becomes a man or woman respectively. Given this framework, Frieren's journey would be considered quite unusual, considering she is already many centuries old when the story begins. Yet, in the most essential ways, Frieren, and moreover the Race of Elves, embody adolescence in some of the most typical ways. Elves in the Frieren universe are mysterious beings. They are youthful, lacking the ability to age like normal people, sexually neutral, free from an inherent desire to procreate or form romantic relationships, and therefore sometimes androgynous, and prone to isolation. Yet they're also, despite many centuries of wisdom, quite inept socially. And like an adolescent, we see the elf Frieren struggle to understand the people around her despite her deep sense of self-awareness, even the people that mean the most to her. In fact, her protege Fern, who she met while she was a child, grows up before her and is later described in many ways as a mother figure to Frieren. And like a mother, Fern is at times as mysterious to Frieren as an actual mother can be. The impetus of her journey is catalyzed by Himmel, a key figure in her past and someone else she couldn't quite understand. He was the man who petitioned her to join the party to defeat the Demon King, and the person that through Frieren's flashbacks we learn was the person that most likely loved her the most, despite the fact that their travels together were only about 10 years, the smallest percentage of Frieren's entire lifespan, and they never truly communicated what they felt for one another, not enough to gain understanding. And this is Frieren's quest, to go to Aurelia, the land known as Heaven, where Frieren may be able to communicate with Himmel, the hero, again. At the end of the first 28 episode arc, Frieren is only at the beginning of this journey, and is far away from completing her character arc. But what the show accomplishes instead of developing the mere ripples we see of Frieren's past, is establish a broader narrative about coming of age, or becoming through its broader cast of characters, with Frieren as the focal point. Throughout the first arc, the concept of time is a subject of much meditation. And from the first episode, the end of things and the beginning of things is a primary focus. The end of Himmel's life is in ways the beginning of Frieren's journey, and as she partners with humans and communicates with people whose lifespans are far shorter than her own, she learns things like urgency, when time passes more quickly for others than herself, purpose, even to commit herself to a hobby that others would find insignificant, and value, to spend her time helping those whose lives have no bearing on her own, who may be able to fend for themselves in the long run, but who would still enjoy her help, like the tending of a garden of flowers. The viewer is urged to ask the question, what is a long time? What is a little time? When is it time to act, and when is it too late? In this we see Frieren's very long life juxtaposed to the lives of others as she seeks her understanding and coming of age, but not merely against the young in years, but people of all ages as they begin and end various journeys. Beyond the end of their journey, Heiter, Frieren's former companion, saves the life of a young girl, just as she was going to take her on, and raises her like a granddaughter. Eisen finds himself in the company of his own warrior apprentice at over 100 years of age. Of the mages of the first-class mage trial, we find those who just began their journeys as mages, like Kane and Lawan. Those who are in the middle of their lives, like Richter, and even Denken, someone of old age, all vying fervently for the title of first-class mage, all for their own reasons, for their own passions, and in their own time. What Frieren Beyond Journey's End invites us to consider is, when is it too late to begin a thing? When we become adults, we've already passed our coming of age. So, can we begin again? We see in this cast of characters that a journey's beginning or end doesn't begin or end in childhood, but rather, life itself is a constant becoming. Youth may come with an experience, but to those with the passion to achieve it, many walk away from their youth with, by far and away, more than even the very old have achieved. And although age begets wisdom, even the old, despite their gifts, can find themselves blind to the softer skills of life, and full of regret. In our current culture, it is very common to believe that opportunity favors only the young, and that the moment you reach adulthood, your opportunities and value to society, its willingness to see you succeed, begins to dwindle. You're not eligible for internships any longer. Your desire to dramatically change your life and career is seen as a weakness instead of a strength. And the only journey that people can agree you're deserving of, despite your passions, is one of complacency, stability, and routine. Yet, despite this ideal, the truth is that every stage of life is its own journey. Some accomplish great things in their youth, but the hardest trials of their lives come in middle age. Some take their entire lives to master a thing, and some have lives that are deferred by circumstance or trouble, and are unable to start their journeys until far later than their peers. No one is a better example of this paradigm than Frieren, who after centuries and centuries of life is still young, still confused by people, still in search of meaning and passion, even after living through, in essence, many journeys. She experienced many years with the party that defeated the Demon King, but before that, she spent many years with her master Flammy. But before that, she was an elf girl. There are so many years of Frieren's that are unknown to the world, and yet she finds herself, despite being one of the most powerful mages there's ever been, looking and searching and starting again. So who is to say what is too old or too young to start a journey, or to end one? Even for Fern, we learned that having accomplished the task of becoming a true mage, her passion and drive had been spent in service of fulfilling a promise, all before becoming an adult. And now her greatest joys are found in pleasing Frieren. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, invites us to spend our whole lives learning and trying, not to resign ourselves to complacency, but to examine our hearts to accomplish the things in which we find the most value. And when we do, seek to find what's next, to start again. For even when we're wise, we can be foolish. When we're strong, we can be weak. When we're remote, we can still care. And when we're old and full of years, even over a millennia, we can still be young.